All right, are the parties here on Luis DeLeon?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. DeLeon, come forward.
Your Honor.
Oh, you guys are on different sides. The deputies requested that in the new year. All right. So where are we on this case with discovery?
With regards to discovery, it's our position that that everything's uploaded that he needs, that he has had an opportunity to, review that, Judge.
Okay.
But I do believe we have everything that we are going to obtain, and that it's been uploaded.
And that's correct, Judge. The state has turned over. We are currently downloading and reviewing the discovery that's been turned over.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Luis DeLeon, please? All right, we're gonna come back on June 11th. State on June 11th, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
That's it, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Good seeing you.
Have a good day, Judge.
You too.
Yes.
Mario Kellum. Mr. Kellum, if you'll come down. All right, today's plea deadline date.
They've extended an offer and they've asked for trial, Judge.
All right. All right, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand? All right, and I will need from you all an acknowledgement of discovery signed before you leave.
Okay.
And Ms., how long do y'all expect this trial is gonna last?
Like 2 days next.
All right, 2-day trial. And if you all had a full day, if we were to do jury in the morning and do testimony in the afternoon, that would be you all would be finished?
We should be fine, yeah.
Oh, normally this is going to be a short trial then. It depends, not to put you on the spot. Are you expecting any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I have 3 witnesses.
All right, so,
So it might be more like 2.
yeah, so 2 days. So if we were to do jury selection Wednesday morning, they do testimony in the afternoon. And then,
Done by Friday.
yes.
And which Wednesday are we talking?
That's what she's
Oh,
looking
we're
at.
gonna do that. But honestly, if you do jury selection on Tuesday afternoon. Oh, so that's what we'll do. We'll do jury selection then on Tuesday afternoon. And you need to have your witnesses here by Wednesday. We'll have all day Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can send them to either impact or earliest, July 1st,
July 1st.
or you can do July,
Well, who's in impact?
I don't.
All right,
Judge is gonna be.
all right. We'll do, you guys okay with July 1st?
That's fine, Judge.
I'm here anyway.
We only have a few anyways.
All right, July 1st, jury trial.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You'll be brought over dressed in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something different, you'll need to do a clothing exchange with your attorney. Attorney, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know.
I will.
All right, thank you.
Set up this up. Okay.
Christopher Acosta.
We're ready to-
All right.
Morning.
Good morning. This sentencing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I don't have any witnesses other than my client.
Okay.
Make sure you speak up.
No, this is just sentencing. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1657, State of Texas versus Christopher Acosta. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jerry, head on.
Defense?
John Coons for Mr. Acosta.
And are you Mr. Acosta?
Yes, ma'am.
We're here for sentencing today. You entered a plea of guilty to count. I'm sorry, guilty. And also true to the paragraph 1 of the enhancement. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty and found the enhancement true. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is opposed to your application, and they're taking in consideration 2023 CR 4342. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state? Defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report state?
No, you are.
Defense?
No,
All right. Any witnesses state?
no, you are.
Defense?
Just my client.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Christopher Acosta,
All right, defense?
Thank you. Chris, how old are you?
45,
And how many children do you have?
2.
Are you close to them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
How old are they?
12 and 15.
Do you don't have a formalized child support arrangement, is that correct?
No, sir.
But you give approximately $700 a month?
Yes. Or like every week, pretty much.
But you're not getting 700 a week,
No, pretty much like in a month. Or whenever they ask me for money, I try to help them wherever they can.
but you told me it's approximately
Yeah,
150.
about 150 a week.
I need you to wait for me to finish,
Okay.
because this lady's taking everything down, so we can't talk at the same time. So approximately 150 to 200 a week.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
And then you also are living with your mother right now, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does your mother have health problems?
Yes, sir.
What sort of health problems does she have?
She has like heart conditions, high blood pressure, all kinds of stuff. She goes to the doctor a lot.
Are you the one that takes her to the doctor?
Yes, sir.
And is that at least twice a month?
Yes, sir.
And in the PSI, there's some mention that you have some brothers that maybe live there sometimes, but they're not currently taking care of your mom, are they?
No, sir.
And in fact, they're not living with her currently.
No, sir.
Now, you also have a girlfriend.
Yes.
What's her name?
Jennifer Lyons.
And Jennifer has been coming to court every time, correct?
Yes.
But
Yes.
where is she today?
She's at work.
Where does she work?
She's a dental assistant.
And she's had that job for several years.
4.5 years now.
Now, she's obviously very supportive of you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And every single time I've ever seen you in court, she's here with you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But unfortunately, she couldn't be here today.
Not today. It was your last week.
Now, you work as well?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I do HVAC and I cut hair.
HVAC and cut hair. So I want to talk about the HVAC work in particular because you also have some health problems of your own, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's something that we've informed the court of in the past with regard to these seizures you've been having.
Yes, sir.
And you finally were diagnosed with epilepsy, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a seizure today,
Yes, sir.
this morning?
Yes, sir.
And you have these seizures how often?
Pretty much every day.
And you've been seeing a neurologist
Yes, sir.
and they've prescribed you medication.
Several. Yes, sir.
Has it been helping at all?
Sometimes, but that they don't, they're still trying to pinpoint, like, I won't have like no seizures at all. But they're trying several medications still.
And I'll explain to the court a little bit about the epilepsy if the court's unfamiliar, but that's very scary, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Having these seizures.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens in the shower
That's where, yeah, that's where it first started.
and you'll collapse to the ground sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
And have you hit your head?
Yes, sir.
Now, with regard to doing HVAC, you're not getting up in attics, are you?
No, sir.
Oh, especially not with your health condition.
Yes, sir.
You're doing everything
On ground level.
at ground level, okay. And you work for a friend or a relative?
This is me and a buddy. We're starting our own HVAC company.
And is that full time?
Yes.
So you're working at least 5 days a week, and I would imagine this summer is gonna be good business for you guys.
Yes. It's starting to pick up.
Now, Chris, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is your past, your criminal history. And as you know, it's sometimes difficult for judges to consider putting someone on probation who's been in trouble in the past, right?
Yes.
How old were you when you first got arrested? Back in 2007, I think? So 17 years ago, how old are you? 17, 18?
18.
All right.
19.
And when you went to prison back in 2015, 2016, I'm sorry. So that was 8 years ago. Is that correct?
That's it.
You haven't been to prison since then, correct? And in fact, you had been you hadn't been in trouble in several years, is that correct?
That's it.
Until this most recent arrest.
Yes, sir.
Was this a wake-up call for you?
Yes, sir.
I've discussed with you the pre-sentence investigation and how they are recommending that you get treatment. Do you understand that?
That's right.
And you can understand looking at your criminal history, which is mainly drug related,
Yes.
where a judge would say, hey, maybe Mr. Acosta needs some sort of drug treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to take drug treatment as a condition of probation?
Yes, sir.
The only concern for you, of course, is that you need to continue getting treatment for your epilepsy. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So would it be fair to say that we're asking the judge to consider your application for probation and consider placing you in outpatient treatment first, see how you do that in that, and then if you slip up there, then you would be more than willing to go to inpatient?
Yes, sir.
Do you think you can abide by the rules of the court?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that you can stay clean from drugs and alcohol?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about your situation or your family or anything? Are you sorry to be here?
Yes.
Are you embarrassed to be here?
Yes, sir.
Has this been hard on your family?
Yes, sir.
Is this causing your children a lot of stress?
Yes, sir.
Just-
I'm not having.
Your mom
Yes, sir.
and your girlfriend,
Yes, sir.
right? She's very stressed out every time you guys are here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But everyone is supporting you. They're helping you get the medical treatment you need and things like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Judge, I have nothing further for my client. The prosecutor may ask you some questions.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Sir, when you were stopped by this DWI, you had controlled substance on you, is that correct?
Yes, that's what they say. I don't remember. That's what they say, yeah.
Well, you had 11 bags of cocaine.
Yeah, well, I don't recall.
Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, that's what the.
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
And then also 2 bags of heroin,
Yeah.
and also like 5 Adderall.
Yeah, that's good.
Was that for personal use?
The Adderall, I don't remember how I got the Adderall. I mean, there was a day I was partying and stuff, like it was during the Super Bowl, so I really don't remember much. I just remember the cops waking me up and they pulled out whatever, I guess. And I mean, really pretty much I woke up in the cop car.
I mean, I'm just saying 11 bags of cocaine and 2 bags of heroin and 5 Adderall, this seems like quite a bit of drugs carrying on.
Yes, I understand that.
And then also with your previous convictions and of your felonies, you did get offered and you did take deferred adjudication or probation on those, and then you weren't able to successfully complete those, is that right?
Years ago?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then also as late as in 2016, that's when you got your conviction. You were actually on probation for 1 to 4 grams. And then you were sentenced in 2016 because you picked up another 4 to 200 grams. So you aware of that?
No, it was on probation.
Okay, you weren't on probation at all, so you took 5 years. Okay. No further questions, John.
All right, any follow-up?
No further questions. Just argument.
All right, court will hear argument.
I'll go ahead and go first.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe you want to go last. Judge, I mean, just Lou, his criminal past, and this was initial, the state did waive that enhancement to allow him to apply and substantially lower the amount of time that he would be facing if he was facing the habitual status. So in lieu of that, Your Honor, including the DWI, including with the possession of drugs at that time, state's request continued TBC.
Thank you, Judge. We understand how difficult the situation that Chris put himself in back a couple of years ago. This was not a wise move on his part, but when I see his criminal history and I see the facts of this offense, I see someone that is struggling with a substance issue or substance issues. In talking to his girlfriend, she has told me the same, that she feels like he could use some treatment. You know, we're dealing with a 35-year-old man here, Judge. Yes, he's a grown man, he's an adult, but he's been in and out of the system since he was a teenager. And when you look at that history, it doesn't look like he was ever given the opportunity for treatment as far as I can see. And at this stage in his life, he does want treatment. He wants to better himself. He wants to get his business off the ground. He wants to continue taking care of his children and paying for them the way he's supposed to. This is sending him to prison is the natural instinct, I'm sure, for a court. But in this circumstance, we would ask that you consider placing him on probation and giving him the treatment that he needs. I have a personal concern with the epilepsy. As someone who has an epileptic in my family, I know how serious this is. And I lost an uncle who collapsed and fell and hit his head in his own kitchen and died. So my concern is that if he goes off to the jail and into the prison, that he won't get any sort of medical treatment that is necessary. And one of the things that's interesting about epilepsy is that your body is continuously adjusting to the medication. So what works today might not work 6 months from now or 3 months from now even. And you really have to be on top of it with a neurologist who has to monitor you constantly to make sure that the medications that you're on are the appropriate ones and are helping you. He has been doing better. The seizures are not as severe as they were, say, 6 months ago when we first informed the court of this issue. But he still is having them. It feels like his doctors are slowly narrowing down. But one of the issues is he doesn't have health care, so he has to pay out of pocket. And neurologist visits are very expensive. But he is able to do it when he can. Again, my fear personally is that he gets to the jail, he gets to the prison, and as we know, the medical treatment in either of those facilities is not the best in the world. So based on all that you have in front of you, Judge, we would ask that you give him that chance on probation. Let him try to prove to you that he's not the person he was in the past, that he will not have violations in front of you any further, and that he can be the person that he should be.
All right, Mr. Costa, I want to let you know that I've listened to the arguments of your attorney, internalized everything. I understand people have medical issues. And I understand that sometimes if people look back over their life, if they could do things differently, they would do things differently. I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation. So I'm not going to grant your application. As previously stated, I'm finding you guilty. Does anyone want to speak in regards to the cap? It's a cap of 10.
They've asked for 10. I would obviously ask for the minimum 2, Judge. I think that would be, the least amount of time that he's away from his family, away from his mother, away from his children, and away from his doctors too, would be much appreciated.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court is taking in consideration 2023 CR 4342. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money will run concurrent. Court will give you credit for any time served. There's to be a 2-year license suspension. I'll request a therapeutic community for you, but I have no control on whether or not they place you in the therapeutic community. You'll have to ask for it also, but they'll see it in the judgment that I am requesting the therapeutic community. And I'll sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Court is calling 2024 CR 1478, State of Texas versus Israel Renee Fuentes Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Michael DeLeon.
All right, and are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review what's entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of tampering with evidence with intent to impair as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do believe he's mentally competent.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No motion, Your Honor.
Outside the plea, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with Dilver, Dilver Alvarado. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. We reviewed that, Your Honor. We have no objection.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor. We do have one ask of the court.
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez is 23 years old. He works 6 days a week as an auto detailer, so he's always working. We're
I'm
wondering,
sorry, is what?
he was always working as an auto detailer.
Oh, auto detailer. Okay.
Okay. We were wondering if there was anything you could do about maybe probating some of the fine or community service, given the fact that he is working all the time. It'd be a little difficult for him to do his community service. I know he bought out, that type of situation, but perhaps some type of consideration, given the fact that he is pleading and it's only his second, maybe third time here.
All right. So, do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many?
I have one 5-year-old son.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 23.
All right. And does your son live with you?
No, he lives with his mom.
All right. And who do you live with?
I live on my own with my girlfriend.
All right. Expecting any more children?
No.
All right. So until you get your life together, maybe best not to expect more children.
Yeah, understood.
All right. And if you're drug tested today, what are the results?
I come up negative for THC.
Wait, you say come up negative?
I mean, come up positive for THC. Sorry.
All right. Here's the thing. When you're on probation, you're not allowed to smoke marijuana. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. Those are the rules that the legislature has passed. I follow those rules. So even if you're at your house, you can't drink alcohol. even if you're at your house, you can't smoke marijuana unless there's a medical prescription for it. Do you understand?
Understood.
All right, there's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. How often are you seeing your child?
Last time I saw him was a couple months ago.
All right. 2 years deferred adjudication. 150 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you complete the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. How far did you go in school?
I made it to my senior year.
All right, so did you not graduate?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I was put out of the house at 17, so I was homeless after that.
All right, so why were you put out of the house?
My grandparents didn't like that I wasn't working at the time.
Well, you have to do something.
Yeah.
So are you still in contact with your grandparents now? So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I have a lot of, I guess, ideas of what I would like to do with my life. For sure, just definitely turn my life around and not have to go back to living on the streets ever again.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order parenting classes, and I will give him 50 hours of community service for the parenting classes. All right? So you complete parenting classes, 50 hours of your community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Then I'm gonna order that he be in a trade school, or either you go to school, or either you obtain your GED. All right? So trade school or GED. Once you do either one of those, the court will then deem the remaining 100 hours satisfied. But I believe that when people do community service hours, I know I could make you probably go out and pick up trash in this hot weather. But I'm hoping that the community service hours be something that you improve yourself, because that is sort of giving back to the community, because then the community doesn't have to worry about you because you're changing your ways. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There'll be regular random UAs, and they're going to test for levels, and those levels need to start going down. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits. One time per month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, and I'm sorry, no contact with Dilver Alvarado. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. You're young. You did something silly. Don't do that again. Don't put yourself in a bad situation because you're trying to protect somebody else, because at the end of the day, you now have a child that's dependent on you.
Yes.
And you now have a girlfriend or fiance who's decided, even though you come with baggage, because you're coming with a child, you haven't graduated, and she's decided, she sees something in you and has decided to take a chance on you and hook her star to you, right? And I'm sure she probably gets a lot of flack from her family saying, what are you doing with this guy? So here's your chance to turn things around, to be somebody that her parents will say, you know what, you made the right decision. He got off to a rocky start, but he's changing his ways. Now, in this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, don't just throw your hands up. Come to court. We're here except on holidays and weekends, and we can always discuss it. And your attorney, I'm sure, will tell you that. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Are you ready on Menchaca? All right, Mr. Menchaca? Yes, ma'am. All right, you have a trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. You need to sign it, and then the court will let you know whether or not you have a right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if you'll sign that, please. And attorneys, if you all will stop checking the boxes on whether or not somebody has a right to appeal, that's my decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 3565, State of Texas versus Andres Menchaca. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Your Honor, Jeffrey Martinez for defense.
And are you Mr. Menchaca?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Menchaca, did you review the documents entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Andres Menchaca who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 3565 for the offense of theft on October 13, 2020 for a term of, for the offense of theft 30,000 to 150,000 of a vehicle on October 13, 2020 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Andres Menchaca did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July, August, September, October, November, and December 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
State.
Okay. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Andres Menchaca did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of January 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
And how do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure, ma'am.
And then on the first amended, judge, violated condition number 1, on or about the 27th day of March 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Andres Menchaca committed the offense of felon possession of firearm in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 27th day of March 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Andres Menchaca committed the offense of possession of a controlled substance, EG1, in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Andres Menchaca did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of February 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
Your Honor, I waived the other violations alleged in the motions.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Menchaca, did you understand by pleading to true to violations 5, 5, 1, 1, and 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 4 years in the prison and up to $1,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations of 5, 5, 1, 1, and 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 5, 5, 1, 1, and 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you revoke the defendant and sentence him to 4 years in the prison.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor. It's just also our understanding, this is our third setting for the MTR. First setting we conferred and was given an offer. He also has some other pending cases, Your Honor, that are not in front of you. When we came to the second setting, your first share was all alone, so we didn't have the time to do the paperwork for the
So
additional
is this
cases.
sorry to interrupt, but is this the proposed agreement?
I'm discussing the proposed agreement, Your Honor. I'll be right there. So the proposed agreement is for him to accept the underlying sentence on the MTR, which is 4 year, and then to TIC one of the night mags, and to also run a 4-year concurrent with a felon in possession case that is unindicted, that we need to do a waiver in the paperwork, but we were out of time at the second setting to do that. We're out of time today. So we also need to do.
Come back at 1:30 and do it.
Let's do that. We may.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do. With regards to this case, the court is finding 5, 5, 1, 1, and 5 true. The court will grant the motion to revoke, and we're going to come back with sentencing this afternoon at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone, we're taking our break. And so we'll be back at 1:30. All right, what is happening with this case?
Good afternoon, Judge. It's our first setting, and we were discussing possible disposition with the DA. however, it's come to my attention, I've met with my client in the past, but in this meeting, it's come to my attention, there was a witness present that day. This case involves a backpack that may or may not have been my client's, according to the state. This witness would have direct knowledge of it, however, he's currently in SATA. And he's out from mid-June, so I either need to wait till he gets out after getting permission to speak to him, hopefully from his counsel. If I want to interview him sooner, I believe I need a court order. And I'm willing to do that in other courts.
Well, I mean, with regards to a court order, I don't know what his case involves in SATF, and if somebody's going to, if he's just a witness, or if somebody's going to be saying this is his backpack. So he'll need an attorney present.
Yes, I believe that may end up.
And which court is his case out of?
I don't know. I just know he's in SATA. I know his name and I know when he gets out.
Oh, what's his name?
His name is Damian Bell.
Did you look up Damian Bell and see which court he's out of?
Damien. Yes. That's how I would typically.
You know what? Try DAMIAN and DAMIEN. And because of my time in CPS, also try DEMON. And Bell, maybe BELL and BELLE. Just 1 second. Ms. Abrams, are you able to look up to see if there's a Damian Bell who's on probation, who's currently in SATA? That's what we're assuming. Is that who that is?
What's that?
She's saying Damian Cowell.
Is it,
We have no idea.
I assume it's drugs. He's in for some sort of fraud case, but he isn't SATA.
My understanding, he's currently in SATA.
Yes. $3.99.
Yes. And do you have a SID number?
His number was 113-6061.
Wait, 113?
6061.
All right.
that's one let's make sure.
All right, and do you know, does it say how long he's gonna be in SATA? Huh? So there you go.
Is he out? Well, that's easy. It's now it's
They put it as complete as of today. So
perfect. Okay, makes it easy.
So Norma, let's recall this case in 30 days.
June 27th.
All right, so we're gonna come back on June 27th, and defense, you have your information.
Wonderful. Thank you for the
Sure.
assistance, Judge.
No problem.